Hey everybody. I've done one on smartphones before, but I wanted to revisit this a little bit. Not because I want to rethink or relitigate the usability of a smartphone. As everybody knows, I would much prefer that regular cameras were used rather than smartphones for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is everything that you take on your smartphone that goes to the cloud is visible by somebody and can be used to train AI, right? It goes into the cloud and you have no idea what the actual privacy is of what you put up into the cloud. So it's kind of limiting. But one thing I do want to point out that you can do with it is if you're going out and you're going to shoot an area, right? Let's say you're going to do a wedding. You've never been to the venue before. You could use your smartphone to take pictures of different areas that you might want to use for different places to take photographs. For example, you may end up being invited to the dinner the night before, right? Or to the celebration the night before. If you are and you're there, you can then see the venue, assuming that it's at the venue, of course, and get some ideas of where you could put people and what you could shoot and how many people you could have. And then if you're not sure, or if you want to remember it the next day, you can take pictures of the different things and then go through when you get home. So probably not the night before unless you've got a lot of time, to go over the photographs and see which really resonate with you and with what you know of the couple. Because again, you must have talked to the couple beforehand to get a feel for what the theme of the wedding's going to be, what they're looking for, the types of things that they like. And maybe on the grounds there's a nice archway that's made out of bushes that might have been sculpted that way, or just naturally with a couple of trees growing together and the branches happen to be in the right spot. So you could use that as an arch if they like nature. If they really like water, for example, and there's a water, a pond or something like that, or a stream or something there, you can go scout those areas out and figure out what it's going to be. And remember, though, that the best time to do all the scouting is at the same time, the day or two before, that you're actually going to be doing the shoot. Right? So if the wedding's at 10 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to be there at 5 o'clock at night scoping out areas because the lighting's going to be completely different. And you always have to make sure that you have a backup, because just because you want to do all these photographs outside for the wedding, if it happens to rain on the wedding day, you're not doing anything outside. So make sure if you're scoping out a venue that you've done it both inside and outside. But then take those pictures and go back and treat them the same way you would as if you'd actually taken pictures of the couple. By that I mean lay them out, go through them the same way you would the wedding photographs, and do your, if you're using something like Lightroom, just go through the first pass and pick out the ones you like. If there's anything you like about it, pick it. All right. Then you can get rid of the rest. Now you're just doing first round with the picks that you've got. There's something you see in there and you don't like it, or you think it's going to be repetitive because of what you're thinking about doing with that particular background. Like you may have 3 that you think would be perfect to have the wedding party in front of. You already dropped one out, or a couple of them, because they were too narrow, or they just didn't look quite right, or they clash with the outfits that the people, you now know the people are going to be wearing, or whatever. So now you're down to 2. Pick one, right? Which one is your favorite? And remember, you have to have inside ones as well. So you're going to have an inside photograph and an outside photograph spot that you can use. And probably on the outside as well, you're going to have a backup, just in case. So in a perfect world, you would want, let's say, a half dozen spots inside and out, if you can, inside, that you would want the entire wedding party. You could shoot the wedding party. There's enough room for the size of the wedding party that you've got, because some are bigger than others, obviously, and get that scoped out and go from there. If you're shooting an event, see if you can get there and see what the event area is going to look like. For example, you guys know I do shoot the reenactments up at the fort, but they also have fencing competitions at the fort as well. And if you're going up to shoot that event, get up there day before and scope out the area that they're going to be in and what the different angles are and things that you're going to get. In this particular case, the fencing event that they were doing was outdoors, right, in kind of an apple orchard that's down near the gardens at the fort. There's some picnic tables down there and things so that people can go sit and watch. But the event itself was not an event going on. It was multiple competitions going on. So if you've ever shot a martial arts competition, you know that they have different areas with the mats, and they don't have just a competition going on until it gets down to the finals. You've got multiple things going on at the same time. So when you take a picture, you may be getting another bit of action in the background, and obviously you're not going to have things timed perfectly. The both, what you got in the foreground and what you got in the background are going to both be interesting, for example. But by scoping out the area, you can see where's the best spot to hit, and knowing that the picnic tables are there, and that's probably where the families are going to set up, you can find another way to take the photograph. If you're shooting an event you are unfamiliar with, you may want to also talk to somebody who's going to be at the event, preferably one of the judges or something, so that you can know where you can be and not be distracting to anybody, right? It's like going to a golf tournament. You're not going to be talking at a golf tournament. You're not going to be podcasting in the middle of a golf tournament. Hey, this guy's about to hit the ball. You're going to be quiet in a golf tournament. You don't want to be moving around in a fencer's peripheral vision or a martial artist's peripheral vision, perhaps, for the simple fact that you could distract one or the other opponents. Knowing that regardless of the event, when there's a competition going on, some people are more experienced than others and may be able to tune out the things going around them a little better. Others may be a little less experienced, a little more nervous about what's going on, and so any kind of movement could distract them, and you've ruined the first part of them getting on the road to being more experienced and being more confident in paying attention to their surroundings. So you want to make sure that you don't impact the event that you're shooting, but at the same time, get a feel for the area, take some pictures of it, see what looks good to you for both places that you think you could sit and not be in the way, but at the same time not be in direct sunlight all day. For example, for these outdoor venues, where can you shoot that's going to have some shade, but you'll still be out of the way, because knowing that the families and all the gear is probably going to be in the shade as much as possible, how can you shoot from there and not be in anybody's way? By having photographs of the event that you can pull up and take a look and say, okay, well, I want to shoot here and here and here if I can. Again, getting back to like a wedding photograph where you've got restrictions on the amount of space that you need. Where can you do it? You don't want a big open space, obviously, if you're just shooting the bride and groom. You do need a big open space if you're shooting the entire wedding party. So where do you want to be? How do you want to set it up? By getting these photographs up front and knowing, by going through them to figure out where is the best spot you think for the event, will give you a leg up on the day of the event, and it'll allow you to go in with something that every photographer needs, and that's confidence, right? You don't want the event to seem surprising to you, and you don't want your client to think you're surprised by what's going on. You want to go in there, especially when you've got a wedding or your client is nervous for some reason. You want to help them be more relaxed. I remember shooting a wedding. The young lady was getting married. I knew her. I didn't know the groom. She was, in her opinion, a wreck. And I was kind of the outsider. I knew her kind of. I didn't know her as long as everybody else there, so she felt a little more comfortable talking to me about it. Not necessarily what you would think of a wedding photographer's role to be, but your job is to get the best shot. And if making sure that the bride is relaxed and having a good time, or that the groom is relaxed and having a good time, or that the family is relaxed and having a good time, joking with them, getting those pictures, that is in your best interest. And the same thing goes when you're shooting models. You want the model to be relaxed. You don't want them to be uptight. If it's a new model, you want them to be as relaxed as possible. And if it's a model that's been doing it for years, well, you might have to break through that routine that they've got to get the pictures that nobody else can get. And the only way you're going to get that is through humor. So knowing your space and where you want to shoot takes another decision point off what you need to do. So now you know where you want to shoot. Now you can concentrate on getting the best shot, because you don't have to think while you're taking the shot, where am I going to do the next shot? Where do I want to move to next? You already know that. It's one less decision for you to make. It frees up your mind and your ability to be in the moment and take that shot, because you know that the rest of your shots are already laid out as to where they're going to be and how you're going to do them. So you can concentrate on what you're doing right now, getting the person to relax so that you can get them in a natural state and get the best photographs of them, and then just move on to the next one with confidence and pride in the work that you're doing. And that's what I got for you guys this week. I will talk to you all next week.